Let me share with you a personal story. I have 20 cousins, and every time we have a family gathering, we only have one dining table. Over the years, younger and hungrier cousins have joined the family, and it makes me feel even further away from my dinner. As a solution, we converted one of the living room tables into a second dining table. Similarly, in the digital banking industry, there are bound to be younger and hungrier new entrants all the time. As such, we ask you to not fight with these new entrants. We ask you to create your own market share. Good morning, everyone. We are Team KASS. I'm Shiwen. This is Kaylin, Amanda, and Sheann, and we ask you to uncover opportunities beyond. As in every case, it's important to understand the market. Using this chart, the digital banking penetration for Singapore is 94% in 2014. This means that 94% of respondents use internet banking via PC or smartphone. These are some of the players in the digital space. On top of traditional brick-and-mortar banks such as DBS and OCBC, we also have a rising trend of new entrants such as WeBank and MyBank, which are pure online platforms with no physical presence. This means that they are able to expand exponentially. The reasons for such new entrants is, firstly, low cost due to a shift of operations online. Secondly, is because there's ability to meet increasing customer needs, such as the desire to see everything in one place and the desire for speed and efficiency. Thirdly, the potential for data analytics, such as using information from e-transactions to carry out analysis. Moving on, now that we know that the pie is shrinking, our main objective is then to defend and increase UOB's market share in the digital banking industry. How we break down market share is in three main components. So firstly is the number of people who have a bank account with UOB, which is essentially the customer base. Secondly is the percentage of people who download the app for the first time, which is the number of new downloads. Thirdly is the number of transactions per year per user, which is the frequency of usage. Now that we know to increase market share, we need to increase customer base, increase new downloads, and increase frequency of usage. Some of the obstacles are standing in our way in achieving these objectives. These are, firstly, as mentioned, there's a saturated market because of new entrants. Secondly, there's a low download rate of the app because customers still lean towards using cash. In the case, it's mentioned that 65% of customers prefer to use cash rather than other payment methods when in physical stores. Thirdly, there's a reduced utilization of the app because customers find that the app has a slow speed and a poor ease of usage. These are the current issues faced by UOB Mighty app. To overcome these issues, we have our recommendations. So, we introduce to you our 3 strategies: expand, engage, and enhance. Expand is to expand into a new market to cater to untapped segments. Engage is to engage our customers via high personal touch. And enhance is to enhance the in-app features such as to better meet customer needs. Now, I'll pass on the time to Kaylin, who will talk to you more about the first strategy.
So, expand. We want to expand into new market space by targeting untapped groups in which we identify as the army. Looking at these 4 groups, we recognize that there's potential to increase the number of users among these 4 groups. And looking at the market that is uncatered to, we identify a higher risk in the polytechnic students in terms of default risk as contrast to army. And that's why we decide to focus and zoom into army. So with the Mighty age ratio analysis, there's room to increase the percentage of customers aged 18 to 24 years old, and NS Men fits perfectly into this category. Also, males are more receptive to the Mighty app as compared to females, and this further justifies our reason for choosing NS Men as a market to expand into. So how are we exactly going to target these NS Men? We are going to introduce to you our new attractive savings plan with no minimum deposit amount for the duration they serve in Army, and also offer an increase in interest rate as compared to ordinary savings account to entice them to bank with UOB. The increase in awareness of this new savings plan can also be achieved through partnerships with SAF by having sharing sessions and sponsorship of Army promotional materials. So with that, Strategy Expand will aim to increase the number of UOB account holders within the NS Men. Next, Strategy Engage will strive to increase the number of downloads for those aged 35 years and above. Looking at this chart, we can see that 70% of the downloads come from among the 18 to 35 years old, there's a 70% download rate, and as contrast to 23% within those aged 35 years and above. As such, we decide to focus especially on those aged 35 years and above to introduce them to this Mighty app. So according to research, we also found that younger consumers tend to be early adopters of new technology, in this case the Mighty app, and that probably explains why the difference in download rate among across the two different age groups. The current marketing strategies employed by UOB includes mostly indirect marketing across various platforms, and this to raise mass awareness. So this seems to be limited in effectiveness in reaching out, especially to those aged 35 years and above, looking at how the download rate. And so as such, we propose to include direct marketing to these aged 35 years and above. And there's 4 main benefits of direct marketing in the form of closer interaction, increased awareness, greater measurability, and feedback opportunities. So we suggest 2 avenues for you to incorporate direct marketing, which is through roadshows and branch office engagements. For roadshows, the locations can be in heartland shopping centers where there's Mighty app demonstrations to our target audience. And in branch office engagement, they can employ frontline staff to introduce Mighty in residential areas to increase our outreach to our target audience. So with strategy engaged, you'll see an increase in number of downloads across those who are aged 35 years and above. So with that, I'll pass on to Amanda to share more on strategy enhance.
Thank you, Kaylin. Now we move on to the third E, enhance. So there are 3 ways to enhance. 1, through the features offered in Mighty. 2, through the overall quality of experience. And 3, through the adoption rate of merchants. Moving on to the first one, of features offered. So for current features offered, in the big 3, the features offered are pretty uniform. So this includes core financial services such as looking at the balances of transactions as well as transfer of funds. But in order for UOB to stand out, we will need to differentiate ourselves from our peers. As such, I would like to introduce you to Fun with UOB, a unique combination of the food that Singaporeans love as well as our favorite leisure activity, movies. This will increase the offerings that UOB intends in terms of lifestyle and meet our objective of increasing frequency of use of the app. So UOB has been at the frontier of payment processors, being the first bank in Singapore to introduce contactless payment through mobile devices. However, in recent years, there's been more competitors such as Visa Pay, Samsung Pay, and the newly released Android Pay. As such, looking towards to Uber Pay, we believe that there is opportunity to streamline the payment process and reduce the number of steps involved in paying. We have listed down some criteria when deciding which product or service to venture into and have decided on movies because of the fulfillment of these criteria as well as the strong preference for movies as seen from the movie attendance. As such, Fun with UOB aims to reduce payment for movies from a 3 steps book, pay, watch to a 2 steps book, watch with payment done instantaneously as long as booking of the movies are done through the app. So secondly, factors that affect quality of customer experience. A quick browse through the 666 reviews on iTunes will review the following. Firstly, customers are pleased with the aesthetics of the application. They are happy with the greater security and the ease of login, and they have found it easier to use compared to the previous versions. For rooms of improvement, this includes slow processing speed, bugs and crashes of application, as well as updates of application when the functionalities are not yet available. All this threatens the enjoyability of the customer experience and will affect our objectives. As such, to address these rooms for improvement, we will have to modernize our infrastructure to increase the processing speed, conduct performance training to prevent bugs and crashes of applications, and have well-planned transitions between the versions of the applications. Moving to the third one, partnership with merchants. So in Singapore, only 15% of merchants currently accept contactless payment, an amount that is behind that of the global average of 20%. Reasons cited include lack of incentives, cost of training employees, as well as the cost of installation of payment terminals. As such, there is a need to increase the number of merchants who will accept these payment methods. And we have chosen to target UOB existing corporate clients due to our long-lasting relationship with them. So to incentivize them to come on board, we will be lowering merchant fees through a new structure. So the current structure is a 5-party structure with the inquirer and the acquirer earning most of the transaction fees. However, we aim to reduce these to a 4-party structure, with UOB being both the inquirer and the acquirer. With this, we'll be able to lower down our merchant fees and attract them. All in all, enhanced strategy aims to differentiate UOB from its peers and as such increase the frequency of use of the application after download. Now I'll pass to Sharon.
Thank you, Amanda. Now I'll move on to the quantified impacts of our 3E strategy. So with expansion of new target groups, we'll see an increase in the number of UOB account holders, giving us a compound annual growth rate of 4.5% by 2020. With our engagement strategy, currently only 23% of Singaporeans aged 35 and above have used a UOB Mighty app, and we plan to increase this to 57% in 4 years' time. With our enhancement strategy, with the lower merchant fees, we'll see a cumulative increase in the number of merchants on board to 9% by 2020, and together, these three will give us an increase in our market share. While we remain positive on our strategies, we acknowledge there are some risks involved. So for our expansion strategy, a key risk is that SAF might not be willing to partner with UOB, and to mitigate this, we will look into partnerships with other institutions and army-affiliated companies, such as movie producers of army movies like Our Boys to Men. And we also evaluate the cost of rejection from SAF and try and perhaps renegotiate contracts. And lastly, we can fall back to our traditional marketing channels. For our second risk on engagement, the key risk is that our employees are not able to effectively engage our customers, as they are not familiarized with the application themselves. To mitigate this, we'll provide structured trainings for our employees. We'll provide them with promotional materials such as flyers and brochures to refer as well as to pass on to customers. And we can tie employee bonus to the number of new customer downloads. For our third strategy on enhancement, we face the risk of customers changing preference, and thus our new features might one day become outdated and no longer relevant to customers. To mitigate, we'll constantly gather customer reviews and feedback, have our programmers to update the application on a timely basis, and we'll establish strong links with merchants from a variety of industries. So this is a summary of our implementation timeline. So for our first strategy on expansion, we'll start off with designing and conceptualizing our attractive saving plan, and then reaching out to SAF. And for our second strategy, we feel that training of employees is pivotal, so it will be done on a continuous basis. And we'll start off with a pilot test at several outlets and smaller roadshows to gather feedback and enhance the process. For enhancement, we'll source for partnerships with cinemas, and we'll have continuous updatings of the apps by our programmers, and we'll continuously seek out new merchants from different industries and bring them on board with us. So UOB currently has a strong presence in Singapore, as well as a regional network in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. So our future expansion plan includes bringing UOB Mighty overseas, and this can be done through acquisition of local banks, as well as increasing our branches and outlets in overseas markets. We will also look into investment of blockchain technology to enhance our payment abilities, especially with UOB Mighty. So together, with our 3E strategy of expansion into new target groups, we will increase our customer base, and with engaging of our customers through a personal touch, we'll increase the download rates, and through enhancing our app features, we'll increase the frequency of use to give us an increase of market share in the digital space to ensure the profitability and sustainability of UOB Mighty for many more years to come. So with that, we have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.
Hi, morning. Yeah, so thank you for the presentation. I've got a question on your engagement strategy. Yeah, I think you have correctly pointed out that those above 35, right, their penetration rate is particularly low and that they need to be engaged. But what are the root causes to, for example, the low level of engagement? I wonder if you have actually looked into that and what is the proposed actions for those?
Hi, thank you for your question. So the reason why those above 35 years and above are not so actively using this application is when we observe our parents, right, which are in that age range, we observe that they actually download apps after they observe other people using it, and usually they need some guidance in after they download the app in how they use the app. So our recommendation is to actually position people at the branch to teach them how to do all this. So people at the branch usually, when they are at the branch, it means that they either don't have the application or they don't make full use of the application. So when people position there to introduce the app to them and teach them step by step how to use the app, it will enhance the download rate.
I was wondering, perhaps could there be other reasons, like perhaps they do not see the need to do something like that, or potentially there could be security concerns on paying using some of these apps. Yeah.
We recognize that security is something that our customers really look at. We think that UOB is already very strong, and Singaporeans feel that UOB is secured. So I think the main reason we found is that they have a high initial resistance because it's something new and they are not familiar with. So we found that is our main concern when we look at customers aged 35 and above.
Yeah. So then I guess the question is, what's the implication on the engagement strategy? Yeah. So I hear that you want to engage, do engagement as a strategy, so but what's the implication on the engagement strategy itself?
I think
sorry, I don't want to take too much time here. As in, what would be your key messages in your engagement strategy? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Through engaging, we want to create like an omni-channel. So it's like when we have a digital app, we want to have a physical presence to also support the digital app. And it will eventually result in an increase in new downloads. So that's part of our breakdown of market share, which is customer base, new downloads, and then the percentage of people using the app. So by increasing new downloads, we then increase market share. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yeah,
Sorry, I think to add on also, I want to say that by going with direct marketing, it adds in the form of also educating them of the app and also telling them that it is easier for them to use the app to do to view transactions and to perform some of the functions within the app. So it comes in the form of education as well to teach them, and then so from there when they observe the usage of the app and it's how convenient it is, then they will go on to download, and then from there on it will increase the download rates for this strategy. Yeah.
Thanks for your presentation. I enjoyed that. Wish I was that confident when I was your age. Just a quick question. It was a very good presentation. You've gone through all the thought processes, but there was something that I was hoping you present as well, and that was on competition mapping. Was there anything, or did I miss it? Because a lot of the case study was about OCBC, DBS having done something, or Hungry Go Where type apps. I felt that you went straight to some expand and engage and enhance solutions, but the competition mapping wasn't quite there. Thank you.
Right, is it the competition mapping between the applications of the different? Yeah, okay, so we did a competition mapping, but then the applications, while the features were pretty similar across the board, so the customer feedbacks were that they found it similar. The only thing they found different was the experience of the process. So if there is a bug or a crash, then they will immediately say, oh, this is not a good app that I want to use. So that was their primary concern, not the features that were involved and stuff. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I just have a question. First of all, thank you very much and congratulations. I think we can see that there has been a lot of work behind to make this presentation. So congratulations. I think I have a little bit the same question. Where is UOB standing in the competition? What is the market share of UOB in this, what's the market share of UOB, and what is the ambition you believe that UOB should have with this application? But today they are what, 10%, 20%, 30%, and what could be the ambition after your recommendations are implemented? What would be the ambition of UOB? Obviously, UOB should have an ambition to improve its position in the market. Okay. I have a second question, and is that I see that 94% of the people basically in Singapore are using internet banking, but also 65% they still prefer cash. So this is to me this is a big roadblock to overcome. So what to do to convince people to switch from cash transaction to more new type of transaction? This is a challenge which needs to be addressed if we want really to promote the usage of this kind of apps.
Thank you. For our first question is the market share. So we have done a research. So for retail banking market share, DBS has around 50+%. DBS. OCBC has around 20+%, 20 to 30%, and UOB has 10% of market share in retail banking. So when we want to enhance this app is to ultimately increase our market share in retail banking. And where we see UOB in the years to come is at least on par with the rest of the big two banks. So it's stealing market share from DBS and OCBC and creating new market share so as to bring ourselves to maybe 20 to 30%.
Yeah, but what is going to be very difficult is to transfer a customer from DBS to UOB. So what is going to be the dynamic of the market? The dynamic of the market is going to be, of course, the number of existing users of internet banking to this new retail system, and also new entrants. So what's going to be the dynamic? Because to get market share is going to steal customers from competition, but also to grab new entrants.
Yes,
it's a little bit similar to the phone business, between Singtel and One and StarHub. How do they increase their market share?
Yeah. Thank you for
Those customers are very loyal.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your clarification. So we do recognize that to steal market share, we have to steal from other banks. And currently, usually when people have a bank that they like to use, they'll continue to use it. So there's some sort of exclusivity about it. So what we'll focus on is to increase market share by creating new ones, which is our first strategy, expand. So we expand to new untapped market segments. So after doing research on various banks in Singapore, we realized that the army segment is not very, there's no such existing banks targeting this army segment yet. That's why we want to expand into the army segment to increase our customer base. Yeah.
Okay, so the second question is on how to entice customers to transfer from cash to cashless payment, right? So I think this is not something that you can achieve within like a short span of years. Whereas this is something that you need to create awareness, educate them, and then together with like for merchants to use to adopt this payment system. So there is a lot of parties involved. So I think Singapore is slowly and progressing to go from cash to cashless, and that is yeah. So it's like Uber Pay and Grab Taxi. When how these disruptive technologies come into place, people recognize that hey, when I just alight from taxi, I don't even need to pay, right? They can just deduct from my bank transaction directly. So we need to start to educate and create this space where people recognize that there is no need. It is more convenient, much more convenient, and so that they can not pay, but then just deduct directly. So it's like cashless. Yeah.
Okay. fantastic presentation. Okay, I have been in this bank for the last 15 years. I look at this for the last 8 years. Within weeks, you actually have fairly good understanding of what the bank is all about. I want to tell you that. I can identify with some of the things that comes out. Two things. One, there's a lot of talk about how do you get that penetration rate. Especially for those that is above 35 years of age. I want you to share how do people like yourself influence people like ourselves to get into those spaces. Some of those things that you mentioned, like direct marketing, etc. We did thought about it, but that's going to work. Nobody's going to come to the branch to learn how to use the Mighty. There must be other reasons why, because everybody is so busy, they have no time for that. Second is, you know why we did food? The lifestyle part is food.
The dining, right?
Yeah, because we realized that Singaporeans love nothing but food. Okay? And within the UOB platform, just the UOB credit card, every day we have 20,000 just billing just from F&B in a population of maybe 2 million of card users. So that was significant that we can create something that is a structured data out of it. The thing right now is that beyond dining, what else do you think? Just now you mentioned movie. We did that, it didn't work. Only you like to watch movies weekend. A lot of people don't watch movies weekend. And it is not big enough. We need something that is scaled. So beyond movie, have you thought about any other areas or that? That's a good question. Thank you.
The penetration rate,
Yeah, the penetration rate. Okay, so I think it is in terms of engagement, right? So we understand that those aged 35, they are very busy with work, they don't go to banks. But I think it comes from, a very important fact comes from word of mouth. So it is like, so it's like our parents, right? So when we as young people, we discover something interesting, something new, something more convenient, that will create more benefit for our parents, we'll tell them. And then like from parents, so when they interact, they will also share. So this comes in the form of word of mouth. And of course, this builds, we need to have the word of mouth by using our third strategy, which is enhancement. So you need to have the fundamental basics of how great the app is, so that we can build word of mouth from the features of the app. So I think that is one way that we can go about engaging, which is through word of mouth, which fundamentally is building the application. Correct. Yeah. Thank you.